Hi, my name's Justin. I'm going to give you a little tour of our chicken area and where everything's kept. So when you come to look after them, you know exactly where everything is. There's a lot of bird flu about at the moment, and our chickens and ducks are having to live under a housing order. So there's a few extra bits we're going to need to make sure you do. So when you come here, first thing is to kind of sanitize and clean your hands. We have a hand washing equipment here. We have a sheet, just a reminder of all the jobs that need doing when you arrive. There's soap, antibac, hand towels, and there is a tap over there to wash your hands. After that's done, an adult would probably want to walk around the fence and turn off the electric fence so no one gets a shock accidentally as they walk around, and I'll show you how to do that next. Now we're around the front of our chicken area, and this is where we keep our electric fence kit, and we have a battery under here. Quite simply, to turn it off, we're just going to disconnect the red cable, okay? But firstly, let me point out that this green flashing light shows us that the electric fence is on. It sends a pulse around the fence every second, and that's what the green flashing light is indicating. If you see a red flashing light, it's time to change the battery, and I'll show you where the battery is kept later if you need to do that. So to disconnect, we're literally just gonna take that off and we are done. So that is safe to go through. So the gate's quite simple to open. Just pop it open like that and come through. The next thing we're gonna have a look at is another measure that we have, and that's for disinfecting our shoes, okay? You wanna wear wellies for this, ideally. Unless you've got waterproof shoes like I happen to have on today. So under this bathtub is some water mixed with some disinfectant, okay? So this is to sanitize our footwear, both going in and going out of the housing area, okay? So what you want to do is just stand in there before you go in, and then we can go on in to the chicken area. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is, first of all, we need to check their food and their water, okay? So the food is in here. So the chickens and ducks will stand on here, and it lifts up the lid. We can see that needs a little bit of food, so we like to keep that well topped up. So we'll grab some food in a bit. This is one of their drinking waters they have here. We give them a couple of drinking waters because the ducks do like to climb inside them. So we have another drinking water here. And we're going to ask that on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, if that falls on your day, we'd very much like it if you can clear out the duck pond and fill it back up for us again as well. So I'll show you where everything's kept to do all these jobs. Right, now I've come inside the polytunnel, which is right next to our chicken area. In here you're going to find everything you need to top up everything the chicken needs. So we have a blue bucket. This is for the food for our layer pellets. We have a big scoop. Fill up your bucket like so, and then we can take that out to the food area. Okay, the other thing we have is corn. So we like to give them corn once a day, ideally later in the day if possible, but as you'll come to visit once, whenever you're here will be fine. It helps warm up the body temperature of our chickens, so over the winter it's very important to them, and they absolutely love it. So what you can do is you can take this over, take the bag over, hold out your hand like that for the chickens, and they'll eat that right out of your hand. Or if you're a bit worried about doing that, you can just throw it all over the chicken coop. Here we have the bedding. So the bedding needs to go inside the duck house and inside the chicken house. Okay, they like to pull it out sometimes, so when it's looking a little bit low, you can grab a bag from here and just spread a bit out, just to give them an extra a layer within there. The other thing that we like to keep in here is the hose. What we've learned over the last few days is the hose, if there's water in here and it's outside, it's going to freeze, and that's no good to no one because you can't get the water to where it needs to go. So we keep it in the polytunnel. Just the extra few degrees should help it stay warm. So when you fill up the water, the easiest thing to do is to grab this, take it to the tap, this end slots straight in, the other end's here, the water comes out here. So it's really important to remember when it's frozen weather that the water that they have in there may well get frozen. It doesn't happen very often because it is slightly warmer under there, but if it's frozen outside, it could be frozen inside. So we ask that you get here as soon as you can in your day so that you can break the ice and make sure that the ducks and chickens have access to the water. The ducks actually need the water to be able to eat as well. Quick handy tip when emptying the pond water for the ducks. Use the grey bucket that's next to it to scoop as much out as you can, and then when you can, all you have to do is just lift it from the side and the water can pour straight out. Duck house, and what we're going to need you to do is we're going to need you to open the top like so, and inside you're going to find two things. You're going to find eggs and you're going to find poo. We'll show you where we keep our little poopy scooper because you'll need to take out the poo, put it in a green tub. And the eggs you can take home yourself. Keep the chicken house outside to give them more room within the housing area. Two entrances to here. We can open that and bolt that open. And again, you might find some eggs in there. And you might find some eggs in there. Again, we ask you to take the poo bucket and the trowel, scoop up the poo, put it in there. When this is full, there is a composting bin right next to the enclosure, so just pour that in there and put it back, so that's good to go. Okay, just so you know, the duck eggs are white and the chicken eggs are the normal kind of chicken egg colour. The last thing to do when you come out is to reconnect the electric. Green light's flashing, you know you're good to go. Close that down to keep it nice and dry. Just a couple of things to remember then. The housing order is in place, so the chickens and ducks cannot leave that area. Should they escape at any point, the easiest thing to do is to go grab the bag of corn, give it a good shake, and get them to follow you straight back in. And they'll be safe and sound once again. And also remember that every time you go in, every time you come out of the enclosure, you need to dip your feet into the solution so you're nice and sanitized. Once everything's back on, everything's good to go, we recommend that you go wash your hands, make sure the hose is returned back into the polytunnel, everything's nice and tidy, and enjoy the rest of your day.